Is this about the Rockets wilting under pressure again late in games?
It's a tough call, Jen. It was Russell Westbrook, period. Now, if you want to blame Mike D'Antoni for going to Westbrook late, you certainly can do that. But get this, Westbrook sat for 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. When he was in the game, they were outscored. They were down 6 points, I believe, when he went out to take control of the game. Westbrook comes back in, and the rest is history. We know he has the 2 late turnovers. He misses a layup, misses a jump shot. But I got to give the credit to CP3. Chris Paul was fantastic. He sat 37 seconds in the fourth quarter, and OKC was outscored 5-0. So they got him back in pronto, and we saw him take over the game. He's clearly got a chip on his shoulder against these Rockets. And this is the key to Game 7. Chris Paul staying aggressive. In the 3 wins for OKC, he's averaged 27. Him missing shots or Houston defending him well. And look to be a scorer, not just a facilitator. Well, if he does that, OKC has a good chance of winning.
I kind of disagree with that last point, Broussard, because I think those numbers are skewed by the fact in their losses, they've been blown out the gym. And Chris Paul all year has been a guy who takes a disproportionate amount of his shots in late game situations. And it's why the Thunder, to Brandon's point earlier, have been the best late game, close and late team in the league. And Chris Paul's been one of the best close and late players in the league. The issue for the Rockets to be in this position. They're up 5 with a minute left. They lose in overtime. Second loss, they're up 13 late in the third. They end up losing that game in regulation. And then last night, they're up 6 with 4 minutes left with the ball with the chance to advance, and they allow the Thunder to go on a 12-2 run. And it's had an air ball, had a missed layup. You can show the compilation of it. It's all bad. Had turnovers 6 and 7. But I want to be fair here, because everyone knows who Russ is. And one of the, I think, fair knocks on the damn ball from him. It can demand the basketball. And James, historic, late and close, but in playoff games. But this is a chance to rewrite that history. And Harden was having a good game, has not been out with injury, is not on a minute this morning, and it's deserved because he played really poorly. But James Harden also needs to go get the basketball and have that game at the end, Brandon, run through him for good or for bad.
Yeah, Nick, this has nothing to do with them. This has everything to do with the Thunder. I mean, all year, we go back to the trade, CP3 for Westbrook. We didn't even think that CP3 was going to stay there. We thought this was going to be him demanding his way out and moving on. All year we've been saying this team is not good enough. But what have they done game after game after game in close moments? They've just gone 30 and 15. CP3 only just has 150 buckets. Come on, man, like CP3 is leading in these moments. And we've seen this game after game, and nothing has changed in the bubble. So, Chris and Wiles, like, I'll throw this to you guys, but to me, this is all about CP3. It's about his leadership, and it's about how he demands greatness in these moments. The only thing that has challenged this guy or held him back his entire career in the playoff moments has been his hamstring. Like, go back to when he was playing for the Clippers. It's been his hamstring, not his game, not his leadership. So, Wiles, I'll throw this to you, but to me, this is all about CP3 and this team.
Look, we know that Chris Paul is a perennial all-star. We know that off the court, he's the president of the Players Association and has done wonderful work in the bubble. But he earned a new accolade last night, Broussard. That was first team Kevin Wilde's All in Your Head award for 2 of the most disrespectful plays I've ever seen on a professional basketball court. The first one is hitting this shot Covington on the fanny.
To tie the
so
game.
if you see this happening, you know what I would say? Hey, if I was the coach, I'm like, you know what? Covington can't cover CP3. You know why I know? Just smacked him on the fanny as a nice present. And then the second play is he's a very fundamental player. This is not a fundamental way to line up when you need the basketball if the shot misses. Staring down James Harden. It's insane. After the game, Harden was asked about this, and Harden is great in those Allstate commercials, but he's a terrible actor because he tells the reporter, "Oh, I didn't even notice that." You didn't notice it? You're one of the smartest guys in the NBA, and you don't notice Chris Paul staring at your face? So congratulations, Chris Paul. All first team Kevin Wilde's In Your Head award. I'm going to send it to you in the mail in the bubble. It's perfect.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Go ahead.
You're right.
No, I'm just saying it's personal. You know, he was out last year. Like, this is personal.
Clearly.
So bad for the Rockets if they lose this series. Because, I mean, the guy that you traded would have been the one that beat you. And so this is going to be a tremendous game. I hope it's close. I mean, here's the thing. If it's close, you give the huge advantage to OKC.
Right, that's the thing. If it's close, the Thunder will win, and that's the problem for Houston. Go ahead.
I just want to say to what you said earlier, Nick, because I thought that was a great point about you go to Durant and late games with Russ. One of Kevin Durant's big problems in OKC was, you know, Russ is a stronger personality. So Durant was looking at the coaching staff saying, tell this dude to give me the ball. Durant wasn't going to do it himself. He thought the coaching staff should do it. I think it's similar in Houston, but here's the problem. Mike D'Antoni, we know he hates confrontation. He is not about to get in Russell Westbrook's face, even nicely, and say, let's go to Harden at the end of the game. But that may be what he has to close.
And one of the reasons I am maybe partial to Russ throughout his entire career is I feel like you know exactly what you're getting from him. His level of effort does not wax or wane depending on the situation. His level of intensity, his level of attack, he is an amazing competitor. But that also makes him at times his own biggest enemy. And he and Harden do have a great relationship. And even if he doesn't think Harden's better than him, though Harden is, he doesn't think Harden's worse than him. He won't be insulted by the fact if Harden tries to go get the ball from him, especially when he's coming off an injury. And for James Harden, you guys are right. Like, this is a guy that I've argued you can make the case is the best player in league history without a championship, that at least is on that short list. But he don't want to be on that list. And he certainly doesn't want to have his first-round exit in Houston in forever, where you're going up against the guy that some reports are you helped usher out the building so you could get Russ. Now, I don't think Game 7 will be close. I think the Rockets will blow them out. But guess what? Their only way to win games against the Lakers is close games. They might have one game where they hit 25 threes and they blow out the Lakers. All those other games are close. And if you think Chris Paul is a great closer, have you met LeBron James? And so it's just a tough spot for the Rockets that haven't figured this part out yet, Jenna.
Game 7 Wednesday night, you said it, the winner advancing to take on the Lakers. Hey, is Cam Newton on an MVP track in year 1 in New England? Bill Belichick might think so. Michael Vick joins us next to discuss First Things First.
Let's go.